Joined us from, as I mentioned earlier, from Baikonur in Kazakhstan at the Cosmodrome. And Paolo is going to take us on a walkthrough. I don't actually know what he's going to show us, so this is all a surprise, but it'll be interesting. And he wants to share some of his experience being in the Cosmodrome and whatever he wants to share with us. So welcome, Paolo. We're so happy to have you. I think you can see the whole audience.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, Steve. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. I'm really sorry I cannot be there in person. I would have loved to be in Italy, in Florence. I lived in Florence for a year and a half when I was younger, and I have really good memories there. On top of that, I believe it's better weather than here in Kazakhstan. We have no snow as yet. Moscow is pitiful right now, but it's still cold. I wanted to show up without a jacket, but I think it's not possible there. So, yes, I am in Baikonur, Kazakhstan. It's this place that once upon a time was the secret place. In fact, when the Russians built this place, they tried to deceive the intelligence from the other side of the world and gave a fictitious name of Baikonur to this place, which actually it's a name of a town that is about 300 kilometers away. This is just to try to deceive a little bit the location of this place. And then, you know, this place is fairly barren. There is not much. I don't know if you can see in the background. We are right on the banks of the river Sir Daria, which, let me see if you can see it. You can see it in my background there. And this river used to be, in the old time, I'm talking about some couple of hundred years before Christ, used to be the extreme border of the Macedonian Empire, the Greek Macedonian Empire. Alexander the Great did some good battles around here to establish his border. An interesting place in the 60s, the Russians decided to come here in the middle of nowhere to establish their Cosmodrome, where to conduct this secret quest of putting somebody in space, conquer space, and maybe going to the moon. And Yuri Gagarin took off from here in '61, and of course Sputnik was launched from here. So it's an incredible place. A lot of history around here, and I'm stuck here, quote unquote, because I'm part of the backup crew that is about to launch in a week on the space station. They will fly, and myself with two other astronauts, one cosmonaut and astronaut, are the backup just in case the prime crew has any problem, which is not going to be the case. So we are looking forward for Peggy Whitson, Thomas Pesquet, and Oleg Novitsky to take off and join the astronaut on board on the space station. So I really like the theme of your symposium there, because you know, arts and technology. I think the art and technology, the road from Galileo to Mars, it's a very interesting road. I think in the Renaissance, the arts and technology were very much linked together. I'm thinking about Galileo, I'm thinking about Leonardo, and that did a lot of things that have to do with creating technology, being probably the first engineer, a true engineer in history. He really managed to merge effectively these two disciplines, which at that time were not really different. Now we think of them as the two different disciplines, but in fact, I don't think there's not that much of a difference. One cannot be without the other, and one is challenging the other, pushing the boundaries. I think together these technologies can go really far. And space, by the way, it's a demonstration that when you put together these two disciplines, you really can go far, because you cannot just go in space and stay in space like we do on the International Space Station, stay for a long time, long periods, like 6 months, and just survive on technology. You need art, you need life, you need to do different things. You need to have your senses touch and stimulated in every sense. And I have to say that the International Space Station, it's a really an incredible platform that we have today to conduct science, technology, and but also to think about the essence of life. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we hear you well. You're not talking to yourself.
Can you hear me? Can you still hear me, see me?
Yes, very well, Paolo. Can you hear us?
I'm sorry. Once in a while I can hear some voices under there, and I think I might have lost you. So, I would say that my experience as an astronaut has really taught me that you know, we cannot just live as just robots. I mean, we are humans. We need all sorts of things around us. Not only technology that keeps us alive in space, and of course we can live and work in space because technology has built us an artificial environment that allows us to breathe, otherwise we cannot breathe. But also, you know, we need to have our brain stimulated, we need to eat, we need to do some other things, we need to think about something else. And I think astronaut in space, probably like, Nicole Stott is going to talk about it. By the way, hi Nicole. She's going to talk and she's going to tell you that it's incredible how in space you can, yes, work as an operator, do science and do a lot of things, but at the same time, discover a lot of the senses that you have in your body and you never thought about them. And it's amazing how going to the space station, you can become a Spider-Man. You can fly around. You can start thinking of the world around you in 3 dimensions, and you can start looking at the Earth with different eyes, understanding a little bit the fragility of this planet, or even the fragility of our presence on this planet. I mean, this is truly an interesting platform that allows us to put together science and technology, arts, and allow us to be and work, function better as human beings. Astronaut, in a certain way, has always thought about this, and I'd say that space will enhances even more your sensitivity about this kind of opening up your senses and looking at everything that is around you. In fact, I really wish, after having been in space, I really wish that everybody can actually go up there and experience this 3-dimensional effect of being able to be a Spider-Man and at the same time looking at beautiful Earth there and feel even more a terrestrial person, even more an Earth person while you are in space. I think astronauts in general have tried to be more human and less robots. And so what I wanted to show you here, it's this interesting alley. Let me see if I can flip the camera here. It's an interesting alley because in this alley, I think I disappeared, but there we go. This alley here has trees that have been put, first of all, thinking about the people that have opened up space for us. This tree in front of me, I'm going to show you this plaque here. This was planted in honor of Yuri Gagarin in 1961, and we have all the other trees in front of us, and of course Titov right here, and I wanted to show the one from Valentina Tereshkova, and if you go down, there are the trees that every one of us now plants before going to space. This is pretty amazing. This is pretty amazing. Okay, I would give you a couple of minutes to see if you have any question there. I know Nicole is there, and Dava is also there, and I would like to say hello to her too. I would like to see if you have any question there, Steve. And I can see you nicely there, by the way.
Okay, I'd like to invite Dava and Nicole up. I don't know if, can you see us? This is,
Yes, I can.
Perfect, perfect. There you see. Okay.
Hello, Dava and Nicole.
Ciao, Paolo, thank you.
Thank you for your sharing this wonderful experience with us. Are there any questions from the audience? We can take one question. Who's bold enough to propose a question for Paolo? Anyone? Please. Here we go.
Hello. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Who's going to be the first one and is going to go in space and show us what arts can do? Because they always tell me that, you know, for example, we take wonderful pictures from space, and I always tell people that they should really send a photographer up there, because I can imagine what they can do if they are there for 6 months taking only pictures. I think they are going to show us something amazing, incredible, more than what we can show in our 5 minutes of freedom in the evening before going to bed.
Hi.
Let's hear the question.
Hello. My question is not about that, by the way. I'm a psychology major student, and my question, which then I would have to ask to the roundtable also, was about the psychological stress that it puts on being for a long time in space. If that's okay, how do you live it? Does it put a stress on your mind, the fact of being in space for a long time?
Well, that's a very interesting question. You know, being in an isolated and confined environment for a long time is not quite good for the body and for the mind. And everybody knows about this one. In fact, if you do something bad to society, they put you in jail. And that's a way to restrict your personal freedom. And in space, somewhere, somehow, you could think of yourself as being in jail. In fact, while it's true that you are physically confined and constrained, it's also true that space gives you a lot of other capabilities that you don't have here on Earth. For example, being able to operate, fly around and move in 3 dimensions, and also the capability of looking down at Earth. On top of that, every day you feel that you're doing work that is really not only interesting and personally challenging, but also useful, and you feel part of this discovery that is happening every day. And I feel blessed and really privileged to be able to do this. So I go to work in a certain way with happiness. I mean, I'm happy to be there. So I learned one thing, though, that in space, you're not really a good astronaut if you're sitting there and you're thinking of what you're missing, which is this capability of going out with friends and have pizza or do these kind of things. But you are a good astronaut if you think of what other things that are available there that are not available anywhere else. And this, by the way, it's really a good key to use every day in our daily life. I mean, sometimes we are stuck in thinking that we are missing things, and we fail to understand and realize what is around us as possibility, and we should focus on these new things and not focus on what we are missing. And so I was up there 6 months or 5.5 months, and which is a long time, but to tell you the truth, I never had any feeling of, you know, being in a secluded place or being in prison. I never felt I was alone. I felt I was always doing something interesting. I had a team of people on the ground helping me. I had a good team of people in space with me. So it never really felt anything but exceptional and incredible. As a matter of fact, I really wish everybody can have this experience.
Paolo, I think I would like to ask Nicole and Dava to come and say farewell to you now. We need to move on to our next segment, the next speakers. Your words of inspiration will resonate with us for the rest of the day. And we wish you were here, but it was a real pleasure to have you with us virtually. And thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for allowing me to be there, even though only virtually. I'm looking forward to being in Florence. I'm looking forward to visit you, to see your university there, talk to you in person, and try to somewhere inspire you, but also be inspired by you. And I'm looking forward for this.
So do we. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paolo. Arrivederci.
Bye, ciao, arrivederci.
Ciao,
Bye,
ciao.
Dava. Bye, Nicole. Looking forward to seeing you.
Ciao, ciao. Grazie. Tell give Two Fish a big hug. Good luck.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tell Jack hi.
Two fish. Yes. Ciao.
Good luck, good luck. Two Fishes. Paolo will fly with Jack Fisher, an astronaut. So even though they're the backup crew for the launch coming this week, then in March of 2017, they will launch on their own mission.